Welcome to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, mum, FIFO wife, MBA, coffee lover, survivor superfan, and creator of the email experience. In Easy Email Marketing, you'll benefit from my nearly 20 years experience, where I'll be teaching you all the tips, tricks, and insider info on how to create feel-good, non-spammy experiences for your subscribers. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to the Easy Email Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Yael Keown, and today I'm talking list building, which of course we all know is important. After all, we've heard it many times, money is in your list. But gosh, I don't know about you, but I am feeling it and the challenge when it comes to growing your list. Getting those new subscribers seems to be getting harder and harder. And it's definitely been a hot topic with members of the email experience, with clients, and I've seen it become more of a challenge for many people. And I think this has a few causes, right? Firstly, people are more wary with their email addresses. We've been in this online business space for a while, and we've all learnt those list building strategies from those gurus that have been doing it for well over 10, sometimes maybe 15 years. And people have cottoned on to how this all works, and they're not just handing over their email addresses willy-nilly to anyone that offers a great one-page PDF. But second to that, it's also harder to get in front of new audiences. So we all know how challenging it is to be seen on social media, to get that engagement, for our posts to be seen, especially when we've got something that's got a call to action to join your list or to buy something. All of a sudden, those posts get crickets. So if we can't even get our lead magnets and our signups in front of new audiences, how are we going to expect to grow our lists? It's a challenge, and I acknowledge that, and I don't want to just glide over that and say, oh, you just need to put our lead magnet out there, like some of these people who already have these just natural big audiences that are going off reputation and history and referrals. They can make it seem easy, right? But what about the everyday person that is still starting out, or doesn't have, that 100K plus audience following that they developed 10 years ago when everything was easier, in quotation marks. Okay, there's my cynicism aside. But I'll also be completely honest from my end that it has been an issue for me too. And for me, it's because it has not been a priority. And this is a common thing I see. So when you first begin your business, you're in that growth mode, you're in that marketing mode. So it is quite a big focus. But eventually, all going well, you get busy with delivery. And it's very, very easy to get out of the habit of growing your list. You might also play with new offers, as I have been doing. I've been spending a lot of my focus and my energy in the last couple of years really honing in on my offer suite and making sure it is something I am super, super proud of. And I can say I am there. Of course, I've still got more ideas, but I need to go, right, I'm focusing on those offers, and I want to get them to as many hands as possible. But this focus and on delivering to clients and members, as well as just developing my offer suite during my creative time, has come at a cost. And that is list building hasn't been a priority. And my list size has declined because I am very active when it comes to cleaning my list out. If people aren't engaging, I don't want to be sending people emails, etc. And then there's that natural churn over time. People who joined my list 5 years ago may not need email marketing anymore. Yes, there are some people who don't have a business anymore, or there's some people who found a solution elsewhere, and that is totally all good. But so there has been this natural turn, as well as that list cleaning. Conversions are also dropping, not necessarily on welcome automations and sales funnels, but when I do a promotion for an offer or to sign up to something, not as many people are signing up to those webinars if I send it to a list, or purchasing when I do a launch, because there's no new eyeballs. So if your list is still the same people who have been on there a few years ago and they've seen the same offers time and time again, it's a big sign that you've squeezed all the juice you can out of it. And that's for lack of a better term. And I don't want to just keep, pounding the same people with the same messaging if they're not in that place. So that's where I'm at. So this year, I'm definitely looking at list building as a priority. Of course, my strategist brain looks at, okay, where am I missing the mark? Why isn't it working for me? And this is something that you can check on too. So if your list isn't growing, I always recommend you look at 3 key things to tell you why. The first thing is your lead page conversions. So if someone is coming to your sign up page, but they're not actually joining your list, then that's a big sign that, okay, maybe the problem is literally just your lead page. So that's the quickest fix. It could just be your messaging around it, because obviously if they're interested in whatever you offer, you just need to help get them to that final step. So if you're not sitting above 60, 70% on your lead page conversions, that's a quick fix for you. Awesome. For me, that's not a problem. I've got those conversions in place, but not enough traffic. The second thing is that your list builder, so your lead magnet or whatever it is that you're using to grow your list, is not irresistible enough. And for me, I think this is a big cause as why back in the day, my 80 plus fill in the blank email ideas, which was my main lead magnet, it's still available. Is not so popular because it is a PDF, and we're living in the age of GPTs and all these other beautiful automations, and someone can go in and just come up with a bunch of email ideas. Why do they need my fill in the blank ones? So it might not cut the mustard anymore. So that's something I'm looking at. And the third thing is clicks and conversions, but just not enough people. So as I mentioned, conversions have reduced for my overall list just because there's not people coming in. For welcomes, etc., it has died off a little bit as well. And again, I think that's that mismatch between perhaps where people are at and the type of things people are signing up for and those conversions. So if you wanted to play along at home, have a look at those things and just check to see where it's at. For me, the bottom line is I need more subscribers and I need to get into the habit of list building consistently. And for me, that requires 2 things. 1, finding a new amazing lead magnet that converts. And 2, building my audience elsewhere and getting in front of new, fresh people. So I have declared this is the year of me growing my list. And I'll be experimenting with a bunch of different strategies to see what works and what doesn't. And just to keep it really, really meta and really clean, I will be documenting the results, and I will drop in here on the podcast occasionally to share results. Don't worry, the whole podcast isn't going to be dedicated just to list building. I'll be still sharing all the other insights. But as I go, I'll probably maybe once a quarter or so pop in and just let you know how things are going, unless I get super successful straight away and it just works. But you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's get super, super meta here. And if you want to go a little bit deeper with me on my experiments and get the updates as and when they happen, perhaps around a monthly basis, so the exact strategies I'm using, how I've got them set up, and the results, then join my email list. So I'm creating a special segment of my list called the List Building Chronicles, and I'll be sharing the insights over time. So if you want to join that and not necessarily go through some big sales funnel situation or anything like that, make sure to sign up for those emails by going to yaelkeown.com/chronicles. I would love to see you there and start sharing the insights with you. So technically, I guess that's strategy 1, but it isn't my first experiment. I'll be curious to see how many signups we get for that as a strategy. But here is some of the things that I'm going to try, and over time, this may change as and when I learn things. So I'm definitely not locked into these ideas, but this is where I'm going to go, and I'm definitely looking at this from the angle of what's going to be easy to set up. What do I already have available to me so that I can get this going as quick as possible? So this might also inspire some ideas for you as to things you might want to try. So looking at that first category is lead magnets. So I have a number of different freebies and things I've been playing with over the years, but I haven't necessarily promoted them well. But I'm going to start looking at those opportunities and going deeper. The first big opportunity I see is my custom GPT, which drafts engaging emails. And the reason I'm choosing this as a prominent lead magnet is it's to leverage a blog post, which is all of a sudden doing really well on Google. So this is an important reason to be looking at your numbers. So I have a blog post, which is just a master prompt for writing emails with AI. And it's currently getting around 200 visitors a month just from organic Google SEO search results. So I'm like, boom, I want to take advantage of that. So I'm looking for these opportunities. So that's telling me, okay, obviously we know this is a hot topic. People are interested in this. So I am going to ensure that that lead magnet is ready to go and attach it to that blog post, as well as sharing it in other places. Now, behind the scenes, I am a little bit cautious with this one. I am curious because I'm not sure of what the quality of subscribers are going to be, but the ease in which I can get this set up and going is a big factor in me prioritizing this one to go. A second one I have available to me is I have the email engagement checkup, which is an assessment tool, kind of a quiz style, where people can assess their email engagement. And this doesn't have a compulsory opt-in. I'm not going to put that in place, but I could be trying to share this one around in various places too. So that's another one I am going to try. And because it does line up with the first one, with the custom GPT engaging emails, I'll probably even just, give it out as part of, the funnel and the onboarding emails, etc., and just say, hey, here's an extra tool. The third one I already have in place is my Get Started with Email Marketing course, which is a great place to begin. My caution with this one is that it might be meeting people at the wrong stage. Like, it's when people are really just starting with email marketing, they're getting those basics in place and they're not ready to invest yet. And those who are ready to invest and have like bigger setups, they're not the ones setting things up themselves. They just want someone to do it for them. But it is there. So it is worth perhaps pursuing in terms of making sure I just point people to it and get awareness. And the fourth one I'm going to look at is a no lead magnet opt-in. So this is actually a little bit controversial perhaps, but I'm definitely getting the vibes that people are just like, okay, I know if I sign up for a custom GPT or I sign up for a lead magnet, then I know I'm going to get this series of emails and this sales pitch, etc. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm going to be very clear that if people are looking for a solution to a challenge, they want that information. So don't shy away from sending those emails. But there are some people who are just a little bit further down the track. They know enough. They want to have that leading edge insight on something, or want to hear your expertise or your thoughts, or know when you have sales on your products. So trying a no lead magnet opt-in. So I'm giving that a go in terms of just saying, hey, skip the queue. You'll just get a confirmation email, and then you're straight to just my regular updates. No sales pitch. It'll obviously in that welcome email say, here's a couple of links you could check out, but it's not a thing. And obviously there I'm relying on, okay, my regular emails and people seeing the different opportunities and trusting people to say that, you know what, if they do want something, they will do it and they will take action and go forward there. So they are some of the lead magnets I'm going to give a go. I might come up with some more going forward, but the main thing there is looking at what I've already got. I don't want to go developing new things. And I do have a previous episode 129, where I talk about not restarting with your lead magnets, but refreshing them. So it could just be this little bit of a refresh or changing the angle. The second part of this strategy is just placements. So I just really need to make sure I am utilizing the spaces I already have in promoting these lead magnets. So of course I don't want to promote all of them all at once in all the places, because that will be overwhelming. So it will be sort of one at a time and just comparatively see how each one works. But this will involve making sure, I have a good banner on my website and it's prominent on my homepage, maybe pop-ups and slide-ins. So I might experiment with that, plus embedding them in blogs. So it's just across my website as a call to action in lots of different places that people will see. Obviously, I still have my current social media channels, so even though I don't get necessarily the reach that I would love, I still want to ensure I've got, those dedicated posts around it, that I'm sharing them, that I'm putting it in highlights, that I'm putting in pinned posts, and just making sure people see the options. I also do have Pinterest and have been working on a Pinterest strategy and pinning for about a year now. The traffic still is slow. I think it's more to do with the niche, but I definitely will add in pins for these lead magnets and see what happens. So again, I'm just leveraging the channels I'm already using. And then within this podcast, making sure I am updating, links to these lead magnets. I'll make sure all of them are linked below as well for you guys if you want to check any of them out. But I might potentially look at adding some ads in quotation marks, just, so they're easily embedded and dynamic depending on what it is that I've got going at the moment. So they are the placements leveraging my existing thing. But the biggest thing and the scariest thing for me, if I'm honest, is getting in front of new audiences. That is something that I need to do. So in the past, I've been quite successful in getting a lot of new subscribers from participating in bundles and summits. They aren't necessarily always the highest quality though. It is still something I'm going to give a try and report back my results on, and my strategies for ensuring quality. So that is something that I will work on. Another one that always works well is appearing on other people's podcasts or doing guest expert speaking. It's not something I've been proactive enough about getting out there and pitching, so I am going to be doing that. And side note, if anyone has a podcast or has something that they think I would be helpful on, please do reach out. Otherwise, I will be trying that. And obviously, I just want to make sure that all of them will lead to some sort of lead magnet that is get audience. Another one, which is super scary for me, but I think I need to try, and that is TikTok. It seems to be the place that people are engaging with, and I am researching different approaches and strategies to that. I'm very conscious. I don't want it to be like, here's a top tips kind of channel, even though there'll be a little bit of elements of that. It is about finding my people, and then hopefully converting over to my list. I'm also interested in revisiting Facebook groups in terms of sharing in other people's Facebook groups, because there are still ones that do get quite a decent amount of engagement. So I am curious about that. So that's a possible one down the line. And ads. I'm not going to do ads for a little while, not until I prove conversions for these lead magnets. So I'm a big advocate of, we can have ads, and you can use dollars to test it and go through this testing process of your lead magnets and your conversion rates quickly. But I'm going to try some of these organic channels first. And then if one of them it works really well, so say for example, the custom GPT for writing your engaging emails starts converting really well on the back end, then I can see, it's worth putting some ad spend behind it because I know I'll get that return on investment. So that's going to be down the line a little bit, but it is likely something I will layer in. But so that's quite a few ideas, and I'm sure I will come up with a ton of others. But my first step is on that engaging emails custom GPT. I'm going to get that up and out there, and let's see what happens. Leveraging that first blog post that is, getting that traffic and all of that good stuff. So how am I going to know what works and what doesn't? And basically, what am I going to be feeding back to you to know if a particular strategy, whether it's a particular lead magnet or a particular channel works well? I will be looking at, of course, some key numbers, but my main success criteria is number one, subscriber engagement, is so that of those people who signed up for that thing or from that source, how much are they engaging? Are they opening? Are they clicking? Are they interested in what's going on? Number two, of course, is conversions. I only want quality people. So I don't want to grow my list of people who are just going to be lurkers. I want to grow my list of people who a reasonable percentage do want to buy. So I will be looking at the conversion rates. And number three is ease of setup. In terms of using what I have, if I have things in place already, or just how easy it is to do as a strategy, how much upfront time investment is involved in building an audience on TikTok, for example. Okay, so that is a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of bit of insights into my brain when it comes to list building and my thoughts on where things stand now and where I see the potential opportunities. So if you did want to play along with this, my first tip for you is just to assess where your unique opportunities are. Look at your numbers. So is your lead magnet okay, but the lead page just isn't converting? Or do you have any existing channels that are doing well that you can leverage? Like, are you getting people, listening to your podcast? Are you getting traffic to a blog? Do you have a really engaged audience on Instagram? Where are they going, and how can you leverage where things are already working and just go with that momentum? Also think about, what collaborations or relationships you can draw on, like who can you work with to help get in front of their audiences. Maybe there's some sort of, a back and forth relationship you can work with, because getting in front of other people's audiences is often, a really simple strategy, and it's something that you can do in return for someone else. So I would love to know what you end up working on and if there are any particular strategies that you want me to try. So the best way to do all of that is to get onto my list, that special dedicated List Building Chronicles list at yaelkeown.com/chronicles. On that sign up form, I have the option for you to suggest a strategy and also share whatever your current challenges are. So I can really look at these experiments in light of, what is really going on out there. And my goal is that not only will I have, a great surge in subscribers and conversions and stuff as a result of these strategies, but I will have the data and the information and some options for you to choose from and for you to use based around what I've learned, because I've spent a lot of time the last couple of years really honing in on what makes an email engaging and people clicking. But unless people are on your list, you ain't going to get those emails. So that is my next really big strategic frontier. Okay, so initially with that, I'll be sharing my engaging emails custom GPT lead magnet strategy. So I'll share a little bit soon about, what happens after they sign up, so you can see what it is. And then, of course, as and when I get results, I will share those too. So make sure to join all of that at yaelkeown.com/chronicles. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to hear more from you about what you've enjoyed from this and what you want to know more about and what those future strategies are. If you don't want to get on that Chronicles list, head on over to my Instagram and I'm at yaelkeown and share it there. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Easy Email Marketing. It's an absolute honour that you chose to listen. If you love this episode, then it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review so that others can find this podcast and make their email marketing easy too. Finally, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Until next time, have an awesome day and make sure to keep showing up and serving in those inboxes.